Guys, welcome back. Today I am in Koh Samui Island and I am on the eve of heading up to Bangkok and purchasing possibly an iPhone 13 Pro. And that old thought goes through my head again. Do I pick a locked phone or do I pick an unlocked phone? Let's check it out.
Hey, Vern.
What do you think, guys? Koh Samui Island. Is that spectacular or what? So why would I want a locked phone? Well, you can get a good discount on buying a very expensive phone if you buy a locked phone with a year or two plan. So that's normally why people buy locked phones. But there's a drawback, and I'll explain the drawback of buying a locked phone. All right, so almost a year ago to this day, I was living in the Philippines and I knew I was gonna have to leave because my visa expired. And so I was thinking, what do I buy for a phone? Can I buy a good vlogging phone for a decent price? Now, I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I just bought a very expensive Sony camera. And the thought of spending a lot of money for a cell phone at the time to travel with and vlog with wasn't something I was sure about. It was like, let's try to buy a lower priced option to see if I wanted to vlog with it. So I had found a used iPhone, but it was a locked phone. But the price was a lot cheaper. It was like 150 US cheaper than an unlocked phone. Now, I thought, okay, let's gamble with this. Maybe it'll be a good benefit, maybe it won't. But we'll at least be saving a lot of money. I buy the phone and he tells me he needs to install an unlock chip. Okay, will it work here where I'm at? Yes, it'll work here fine. So he puts in the unlock chip, which is like a plastic carrier that goes around your SIM card and then it drops into the SIM card tray. And it bypasses some of the security, which allows you to not have to be on the network that the phone provider had locked it for. So that was fine. It worked perfect in the Philippines. I could make calls, I could use data beyond the internet. But what happened was, once I left the Philippines and I got to Turkey, I went to make my first call and the SIM did not work. It did not work on the roaming. And I'd put a bunch of money on that SIM card, like $50 US, to make sure I had enough money so it would roam and I could use it for a good period of time. And what a surprise, when I go to use it, it didn't work. So I thought, okay, I'll get a Turkey SIM. So I pull out the SIM card tray, I put a SIM card from Turkey into the slot, I push it in there. Neither of them work now. I'm like, now what? Now what? I've got a phone I just paid a bunch of money for. I can use it for the internet, I can use it for vlogging, but I'm unable to make any calls and it doesn't work like a normal phone SIM card would work. So now what? Now what? Well, the only option I had at that time, when I tried to find somebody that could unlock the phone in Turkey, the language barrier came up and I couldn't find anybody to speak good enough English that knew anybody that could unlock the phone. So I ended up buying another cell phone. To get me through where the SIM card would work to get through that country and work with their data plan and their phone, so I'd have some way to communicate with people if I needed to be out and about. I needed a working SIM card to make sure I had internet when I'm traveling, to use my maps and everything else. So I buy my extra phone, I have data, I have a plan, and now I'm having to work with two phones. So imagine my thinking. I'm out on the road, I got two phones I have to worry about charging, I have to worry about data on the one phone so I can use the internet on both of them. And I thought, man, it just is not worth it. So recently I went to send myself money through Western Union and the card wasn't working. And I'm like, why is my card not working? Now I can't send myself money. Now my card, my debit card, which I had linked to Western Union, wasn't letting me send money. Even though I could get into my regular checking account online and my savings account, I couldn't send myself money living overseas. And I thought, oh boy, now we got a problem. So I find the number to call my bank and it's all automated. Okay, now here's the fun part. I enter my account number, my PIN, and then it asks me to type in the number that I had been notified from. Well, I didn't get notified from anybody, but I still remember the number. So I take out my new phone, and I didn't realize I didn't get calling on this phone. I just had data. So now I go to the company that sells the SIM card and I say, look, I need to get a data on here, okay? For calling, because I need to make an international call. Nobody around me had the ability to make an international call. So I add 200 baht, which wasn't a lot of money, onto my plan to have international calling. And I stayed at the counter. I said, let's make a call. Can you show me how to call out? So you have to call like 0411, then your country's number, area code to get out. And even then, we came up to the same prompt. Please type in the number from where we sent the call to verify it's you. So I go to type a plus sign and then type the country code, and it will not let me type the plus sign. So everything that I did using this phone to try to verify myself through the bank would not work. It would not work. So now I'm thinking, okay, now what? Now what do we do? So I'm looking online, and the only way to get a hold of my bank is through this automated service that is requiring my account, my PIN, and the verification through phone. And I just about lost my mind. I'm thinking, now what? I got to speak to a human being. And everything through my bank seems to want to go through this same automated program. Now, the thing that I did, which was very lucky, is I found a number for like a disabled type person to call for customer service. And when it asked for my account number, I did not put my account number in. When it asked for the PIN, I did not put a PIN. I didn't put anything in. It just finally came to a point where it said, which option do you want, 1 or 2? And I pushed number 1, and it brought me to a person. And from then on, I could get things cleared up. I didn't need to have this crazy verification. They asked for everything under the sun from me, you know, address, this, that, to open my account through that card, but I was able to do it, luckily. So there you go. Do you want to buy a locked phone or do you want to buy an unlocked phone? I will never, ever, ever buy a phone that is locked with a carrier if I plan to do any traveling again, ever. It's too dangerous when you need to be verified through your SIM, through the numbers that you have on file. If you have to buy another SIM card, then you have to change everything and you can't get into the account to change it. So my best advice, if you're gonna travel more than a month, don't ever buy a locked phone. If you're gonna travel for just a month and you're gonna pay the really expensive fees to be on the road, then okay, go ahead and buy a locked phone, save yourself some money, enjoy that phone. But if you're gonna travel, no way, no way. I will never do it again. So the only thing that this phone is good for is this vlog that I made this video on, you guys. That's the only thing that it's good for. And when I buy the next phone, it's gonna be an unlocked, you can guarantee it. Now, the other thing that I learned is that every phone Apple sells is unlocked unless you buy it through a phone company. Every phone they sell is unlocked, and that's really important. So, you know, it looks good on paper to buy a locked thing, but you're really, quote, locked into paying it off and going through all that. And then even then, I don't think it would be unlocked after it's paid off. I don't think they come and unlock it or do whatever they have to do. It's just a real pain in the butt. So traveling, you're at the mercy of having your pins work, having the contact work for the number that you set up for that account. And what do? You're in a country, they don't speak the language. Who's gonna send you money? Do you have people that will just send you money? You know, I don't. I'm on my own. So take the advice from me. If you're independent and you're gonna travel more than a month, don't buy a locked phone. So I'm headed to Bangkok and I'm probably gonna buy an iPhone13 that is unlocked. Yeah, interesting rocks, you guys. Look at these rocks here. One thing to travel a short time, but once you start traveling a month or two, and you really start to find out the limitations of your equipment, what you really need to have to make things work and succeed as a digital nomad, as somebody that's trying to live off the grid. You really gotta you really get an awakening what you need to do. And that's why I'm making this video, to share with you guys, so you can kind of be aware, be conscious of how to make your life a little bit easier through my ill-gotten mistakes, I guess you could say. What an interesting area. This is really cool. What a cool area. Thailand is amazing. If you haven't been here, you need to come here. You really do. So I'm trying to navigate these rocks here, you guys. See all these rocks? And see if I see any sea creatures in here. This looks to be a low tide, as there's water up in these rocks right now. Very cool, huh? Look at these weird shapes. It's almost like these were something, right? Really unusual. Be cool to find a name or something carved into these rocks. Amazing area, you guys. These guys are up here fishing. I bet there'd be really good fishing off the edge of these rocks. Especially now, low tide, you could get out there a little bit farther. These are the shoes that I wear when I'm climbing these rocks. These Terex. These are really good shoes. They have a good arch support. I needed something really good and supportive climbing because my feet were dying. And these seem to work pretty good. Wish you were here, guys. Wish you were here. I'd call you on my phone if the SIM worked. If my phone was unlocked, I could call you. How's that?